sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. But how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof 'tis born, I am to learn. And such a want wit sadness makes of me that I have much ado to know myself.
Your mind is tossing on the ocean, there where your argosies with portly sail like signors and rich burghers on the flood, or as it were, the pageants of the sea do overpeer the petty traffickers that curtsy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings.
Believe me, sir, had I such venture forth, the better part of my affections would be with my hopes abroad. I should be still plucking the grass, to know where sits the wind, peering in maps for ports and piers and roads, and every object that might make me fear misfortune for my ventures, out of doubt, would make me sad.
My wind cooling my broth would blow me to an ague when I thought what harm a wind too great at sea might do. I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats, and see my wealthy Andrew docked in sand, veiling her high top lower than her ribs to kiss her burial. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of stone and not bethink myself straight of dangerous rocks, which touching but my gentle vessel's side would scatter all her spices on the stream, enrobe the roaring waters with my silks, and in a word, but even now worth this, and now worth nothing? Shall I have the thought to think on this, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing bechanced would make me sad? But tell not me, I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise.
Believe me, no. I thank my fortune for it. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted, nor to one place, nor is my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year. Therefore, my merchandise makes me not sad.
Why, then you are in love.
Why?
Not in love neither? Then let us say you are sad because you are not merry. And 'twere as easy for you to laugh and leap and say you are merry because you are not sad. Now, by two-headed Janus, nature hath framed strange bedfellows in her time, some that will evermore peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at a bagpiper, other of such vinegar aspect that they'll not show their teeth in way of smile, though Nestor swear the jest be laughable.
Here comes Bassanio, your most noble kingsmen, Britanio and Lorenzo. Fare ye well, we leave you now with better company.
I would have stayed till I had made you merry, if worthier friends had not prevented me.
Your worth is very dear in my regard. I take it your own business calls on you, and you embrace the occasion to depart.
Good morrow, good my lords.
Good signors both. When shall we laugh? Say, when? You grow exceeding strange. Must it be so?
We'll make our leisures to attend on yours.
My lord Bassanio, since you have found Antonio, we too will leave you. But at dinner time, I pray you, have in mind where we must meet.
I will not fail you.
You look not well, Signor Antonio. You have too much respect upon the world. They lose it that do buy with much care. Believe me, you are marvelously changed.
I hold the world, but as the world, Gratiano, a stage where every man must play his part, and mine a sad one.
Let me play the fool. With mirth and laughter, let old wrinkles come, and let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. Why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like his grandsire cut in alabaster, sleep when he wakes, and creep into the jaundice by being peevish? I tell thee what, Antonio, I love thee, and it is my love that speaks. There are sort of men whose visages do cream and mantle like a standing pond, and do a willful stillness entertain with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, profound conceit, as who should say, I am Sir Oracle, and when I ope my lips, let no dog bark. Oh, my Antonio, I do know of these that therefore are only reputed wise for saying nothing, when I am very sure if they should speak would almost damn those ears, which hearing them would call their brothers fools. I'll tell thee more of this another time, but fish not with this melancholy bait, for this fool gudgeon, this opinion. Come, good Lorenzo, for a little while, I'll end my exhortation after dinner.
Well, we will leave you then till dinner time. I must be one of these same dumb wise men, for Graziano never lets me speak.
Well, keep me company but 2 years more, thou shalt not know the sound of thine own tongue.
Farewell. I'll grow a talker for this gear.
Thanks and fate, for silence is only commendable in a neat's tongue dried and a maid not vendible.
Is that anything now?
Gratiano speaks an infinite deal of nothing, more than any man in all of Venice. His reasons are as 2 grains of wheat hid in 2 bushels of chaff. You shall seek all day ere you find them, and when you have them, they are not worth the search.
Well, tell me now, what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of?
'Tis not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I have disabled mine estate, by something showing a more swelling port than my faint means would grant continuance. Nor do I now make moan to be abridged from such a noble rape, but my chief care is to come fairly off from the great debts, where in my time something too prodigal hath left me gaged. To you, Antonio, I owe the most, in money and in love. And from your love, I have a warranty to unburden all my plots and purposes, how to get clear of all the debts I owe.
Well, I pray you, good Bassanio, let me know it. And if it stand as you yourself still do within the eye of honor, be assured my purse, my person, my extremest means lie all unlocked to your occasions.
In my school days, when I had lost one shaft, I shot his fellow of the selfsame flight, the selfsame way with more advised watch, to find the other forth. And by adventuring both, I oft found both. I urge this childhood proof, because what follows is pure innocence. I owe you much, and like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. But if you please to shoot another arrow that self-way which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt, as I will watch the aim, or to find both, and bring your latter hazard back again, and thankfully rest debtor for the first.
You know me well, and herein spend but time to wind about my love with circumstance. And out of doubt, you do me now more wrong in making question of my uttermost than if you had made waste of all I have. Then do but say to me what I should do, that in your knowledge may by me be done, and I am pressed unto it. Therefore, speak.
In Belmont is a lady richly left, and she is fair, and fairer than that word, of wondrous virtues. Sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair speechless messages. Her name is Portia, nothing undervalued to Cato's daughter, Brutus's Portia, nor is the wild world ignorant of her worth, for the 4 winds blow in from every coast, renowned suitors, and her sunny locks hang on her temples like a golden fleece, which makes her seat of Belmont Colchis strand, and many Jasons come in quest of her. Oh, my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them, I have a mind for sages me such thrift that I should questionless be fortunate.
Thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea. Neither have I money nor commodity to raise a present sum. Therefore, go forth, try what my credit can in Venice do, that shall be racked even to the uttermost to furnish thee to Belmont, to fair Portia. Go, presently inquire, and so will I, where money is, and I no question make to have it of my trust, or for my sake.
By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is a-weary of this great world.
You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. And yet, for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean. Superfluidity comes sooner by white hairs, but competency lives longer.
Good sentences, and well pronounced.
They would be better if well followed.
If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor men's cottages princes' palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. I can easier teach 20 that were good to be done than be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaps o'er a cold decree. Such a hair is madness, the youth, to skip o'er the measures of good counsel, the cripple. Oh, but this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. Oh, me, the word choose. I may neither choose whom I would, nor refuse whom I dislike. So is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. Oh, is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one, nor refuse none?
Your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore the lottery he hath devised in these 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly but one who shall rightly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come?
I pray thee, overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them, and according to my description, level at my affection.
First, there is the Neapolitan prince.
Aye, that's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse, and he makes it a great appropriation to do his own good parts, that he can shoe him himself. I am much afeard, my lady, his mother played false with a smith.
Then there is the County Palatine.
Oh, well, he doth nothing but frown. As who should say, if you will not have me choose, he hears merry tales and smiles not. I fear he will prove the weeping philosopher when he grows old, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth. I'd rather be married to a death's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these. God defend me from these 2.
How say you by the French lord, Monsieur Le Bon?
God made him, and therefore let him pass for a man. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he hath a horse better than the Neapolitans, a better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. He is every man in no man. If a throstle sing, he falls straight to capering. He will fence with his own shadow. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. If he would despise me, I would forgive him, for if he love me to madness, I shall never requite him.
What say you then to Falconbridge, the young Baron of England?
You know, I say nothing to him, for he understands not me, nor I him. He hath neither Latin, French, nor Italian, and you will come into the court and swear that I have a poor pennyworth in the English. I mean, he's a proper man's picture, but, alas, who can converse with a dumb show? How oddly he is suited. I think he bought his doublet in Italy, his round hose in France, his bonnet in Germany, and his behavior everywhere.
What think you of the Scottish lord, his neighbour?
That he hath a neighbourly charity in him, for he borrowed a box of the ear of the Englishman and swore he would pay him again when he was able. I think the Frenchman became his surety and sealed under for another.
How like you the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew?
Very vilely in the morning when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon when he is drunk. When he is best, he is a little worse than a man, and when he is worst, he is a little better than a beast, and the worst fall that ever fell. I hope I shall make shift to go without him. Ugh.
If you should offer to choose and choose the right casket, you should choose to refuse to perform your father's will if you should refuse to accept him.
Therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee, set a deep glass of Rhenish wine on the contrary casket. For if the devil be within and that temptation without, I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I'll be married to a sponge.
You need not fear, lady, having any of these lords. They have acquainted me with their determinations, which is indeed to return to their home and to trouble you no more suit, unless you may be won by some other sort than your father's imposition, depending on the caskets.
If I live to be as old as Civilla, I will die as chaste as Diana, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. Oh, I'm glad this parcel of wooers is so reasonable, for there is not one among them, but I dote on his every absence, and I pray God grant them a fair departure.
Do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a Venetian, a scholar and a soldier? He came hither in company of the Marquis of Montferrat?
Yes, it was Bassanio, as I think he was so called.
True, madam. He, of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon, was the best deserving of a lady.
I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of thy praise. Oh, how now? What news?
4 strangers seek for you, madam, to take their leave. And there is a forerunner come from the 5th, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word the prince, his master, will be here tonight.
I could bid the 5th welcome with so good a heart as I could bid the other 4 farewell. I should be glad of his approach. If he hath the condition of a saint and the complexion of a devil, I'd rather he should shrive me than wive me. Come, Nerissa, Sirrah, go before. Whilst we shut the gates upon one wooer, another knocks at the door.
3,000 ducats.
Aye, sir, for 3 months.
For 3 months? Well,
For the which, as I told you, Antonio shall be bound.
Antonio shall become bound. Well.
May you state me? Will you pleasure me? Shall I know your answer?
3,000 ducats for 3 months, and Antonio bound.
But your answer to that?
Antonio is a good man.
Have you heard any imputation to the contrary?
Oh, no. No, my meaning in saying he is a good man is to have you understand me that he is sufficient, yet his means are in supposition. He hath an argosy bound to Tripolis, another to the Indies. I understand, moreover, upon the Rialto, he hath a 3rd at Mexico, a 4th for England, and other ventures he hath squandered abroad. But ships are but boards, sailors but men. There be land rats, water thieves, and land thieves. I mean, pirates. And then there is the peril of waters, winds, and rocks. The man is, notwithstanding, sufficient. 3,000 ducats. I think I may take his bond.
Be assured you may.
I will be assured I may. And that I may be assured, I will bethink me. May I speak with Antonio?
If it please you to dine with us.
Yes, to smell pork, to eat of the habitation which your prophet the Nazarite conjured the devil into. I will buy with you, sell with you, talk with you, walk with you, and so following, but I will not eat with you, drink with you, nor pray with you. What news on the Rialto? Who comes here?
Oh, this is Signor Antonio.
Oh, like a fawning publican he looks. I hate him, for he is a Christian, but more for that and low simplicity, he lends out money gratis and brings down the rate of usance here with us in Venice. If I can catch him once upon the hip, I will feed fat the ancient grudge I bear him. He hates our sacred nation, and he rails, even there where merchants most do congregate, on me, my bargains, and my well-won thrift, which he calls interest. Cursed be my tribe, if I forgive him.
Shylock, do you hear?
Oh, I am debating of my present store, and by the near guess of my memory, I cannot instantly raise up the gross of full 3,000 ducats. What of that? Tubal, a wealthy Hebrew of my tribe, will furnish me but soft. How many months do you desire? Rest you fair, good signor. Your worship was the last man in our mouths.
Shylock, although I neither lend nor borrow, by taking nor by giving of excess, yet to supply the ripe wants of my friends, I'll break a custom. Is he yet possessed how much he would?
3,000 ducats.
And for 3 months.
Yeah, I had forgot. 3 months, you told me so. Well, then your bond, and let me see. But hear you. Methought you said you neither lend nor borrow upon advantage.
I do never use it.
Oh, when Jacob grazed his uncle Laban's sheep, this Jacob from our holy Abram was, as his wife mother wrought in his behalf, the third possessor. Aye, he was the third.
And what of him? Did he take interest?
No, not take interest, not as you would say. Directly interest. Mark what Jacob did. When Laban and himself were compromised, that all the inlings which were streaked and pied should fall as Jacob's hire, the ewes, being rank, at end of autumn turned to the rams. And when the work of generation was between these woolly breeders in the act, the skillful shepherd peeled me certain wands, and in the doing of the deed of kind, he stuck them up before the fulsome ewes, who then conceiving did evening time for party-colored lambs, and those were Jacob's. This was a way to thrive, and he was blessed. And thrift is blessing if men steal it not.
This was a venture, sir, that Jacob served for, a thing not in his power to bring to pass, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. Was this inserted to make interest good, or is your gold and silver ewes and rams?
I cannot tell. I make it breed as fast. But note me, senor.
Now mark you this, Bassanio. The devil can cite scripture for his purpose. An evil soul producing holy witnesses like a villain with a smiling cheek, a goodly apple rotten at the heart. Oh, what a goodly outside falsehood hath.
3,000 ducats? 'Tis a good round sum. 3 months from 12, then let me see. The rate.
Well, Shylock, shall we be beholding to you?
Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto you have rated me about my monies and my usances. Still have I borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and spit upon my Jewish gabardine, and offer use of that which is mine own. Well, then it now appears you need my help. Go to then, you come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have monies. You say so. You that did void your room upon my beard and foot me as you spurn a stranger cur over your threshold. Monies is your suit. What should I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog money? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low and in a bondman's key with bated breath and whispering humbleness say this, fair sir, you spit on me on Wednesday last. You spurned me such a day. Another time you called me dog, and for these courtesies, I'll lend you this much money.
I am as like to call thee so again, to spit on thee again, to spurn thee too. If thou wilt lend the money, lend it not as to thy friends, for when did friendship take as breed for barren metal of his friend? But lend it rather to thine enemy, who if he break, thou mayest with better face exact the penalty.
Oh, well, look you, how you storm. I would be friends with you and have your love. Forget the shames that you have stained me with. Supply your present wants and take no doit of usance for monies. And you'll not hear me? This is kind I offer.
This were kindness.
This kindness will I show. Go with me to the notary, seal me there your single bond, and in a merry sport, if you repay me not on such a day, in such a place, such sum or sums as are expressed in the condition, let the forfeit be nominated for an equal pound of your fair flesh, to be cut off and taken in what part of your body pleaseth me.
Content, faith, I'll seal to such a bond, and say there is much kindness in the Jew.
You shall not seal to such a bond from me. I'll rather dwell in my necessity.
Why, fear not, man. I will not forfeit it. Within these 2 months, that's a month before this bond expires, I do expect return of thrice, 3 times the value of this bond.
Oh, Father Abraham, what these Christians are, whose own hard dealings teaches them suspect the thoughts of others. Pray you tell me this. If he should break his day, what should I gain by the exaction of the forfeiture? A pound of man's flesh taken from a man is not so estimable, profitable neither, as flesh of muttons, beefs, or goats. I say, to buy his favor, I extend this friendship. If he will take it, so. If not, adieu. And for my love, I pray you wrong me not.
Yes, Shylock, I will seal unto this bond.
Then meet me forthwith at the notary's. Give him direction for his merry bond, and I will go and purse the ducat straight. See to my house left in the fearful guard of an unthrifty knave, and presently I'll be with you.
Hie thee, gentle Jew. The Hebrew turns Christian, he grows kind.
I like not fair terms and a villain's mind.
Come on, in this there can be no dismay. My ships come home a month before the day.
Mislike me not for my complexion, the shadowed livery of the burnished sun, to whom I am a neighbor near bred. Bring me the fairest creature northward born, where Phoebus' fire scarce thaws the icicles, and let us make incision for your love, to prove whose blood is reddest, his or mine. I tell thee, lady, this aspect of mine hath feared the valiant. By my love, I swear the best regarded virgins of our clime have lived it too. I would not change this hue except to steal your thoughts, my gentle queen.
In terms of choice, I am not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eyes. Besides, the lottery of my destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing. But if my father had not scanted me and hedged me by his wit to yield myself, his wife, who wins me by that means I told you, yourself, renowned prince, then stood as fair as any comer I have looked on yet for my affection.
Even for that, I thank you. By the scimitar that slew the Sophian, a Persian prince, that won 3 fields of Sultan Suleiman, I would outstare the sternest eyes that look, outbrave the heart most daring on the earth, pluck the young sucking cubs from the she-bear, yet mock the lion when he roars for prey to win thee.
You must take your chance and either not attempt to choose at all or swear before you choose. If you choose wrong, never to speak to lady afterward in way of marriage. Therefore, be advised.
Nor will not come. Bring me onto my chance.
Go and make your choice.
The first of gold, whose inscription bears, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. The second, silver, which this promise carries, Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. This third, dull lead, with warning, all is blunt. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he shall. How shall I know if I do choose right?
The one of them contains my picture, Prince. If you choose that, then I am yours withal.
Some God direct my judgment. Let me see. I will survey the inscriptions back again. What says this leaden casket? Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Must give. For what? For lead? Hazard for lead. This casket threatens. Men that hazard all do it in hope of fair advantages. A golden mind stoops not to shows of droves. I'll then give nor hazard aught for lead. What says the silver with her virgin hue? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. As much as he deserves. Pause there, Oracle, and weigh thy value with an even hand. If thou beest rated by thy estimation, thou dost deserve enough, and yet enough may not extend so far as to the lady. And yet to be a fear of my deserving, or but a weak disabling of myself, as much as I deserve. Right, that's the lady. I do in birth deserve, and in fortunes, in graces, and in qualities of breeding. But more than these, in love, I do deserve. What if I strayed no further, but chose here? Let's see once more this saying engraved in gold. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. That's the lady. Deliver me the key. Here do I choose and thrive as I may.
There, take it, Prince. And if my form lie there, then I am yours.
Oh, hell, what do we hear? A carrion death, in whose empty eye there's a written scroll. I'll read the writing. All that glitters is not gold. Often have you heard that told. Your answer had not been enscrolled. Fare you well, your suit is cold. Cold indeed and labor lost. Then farewell heat and welcome frost. Portia, adieu. I have too grieved a heart to take a tedious leave. Thus losers part.
A gentle riddance. Draw the curtains, go. Let all of his complexion choose me so.
Oh, no, quick, I pray thee. The Prince of Aragon hath taken his oath and comes to his election presently.
Behold, there stand the caskets, noble prince. If you choose that wherein I am contained, straight shall our nuptials rite be solemnized. But if you fail, without more speech, my lord, you must be gone from hence immediately.
I am enjoined by oath to observe 3 things. First,
to these injunctions, everyone doth swear that comes to hazard for my worthless self.
and so I have addressed me. Fortune now to my heart's hope. Gold, silver, and base lead. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. You shall look fairer ere I give or hazard. What says the golden chest? Ha, let me see. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. What many men desire. That many may be meant by the full multitude that choose by show, not learning more than the fond eye that doth teach, which prize not the interior, but like the martlet, builds on the weather on the outside wall, even in the force and road of casualty, I will not choose what many men desire, because I will not yump with common spirits and rank me with the barbarous multitudes. Why then, to thee, thou silver treasure house, tell me once more what title thou doth bear. Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserveth. And well said too, for who shall go about to cozen fortune and be honorable without the stamp of merit? Let none presume to wear an undeserved dignity. Oh, that estates, degrees, and offices were not derived corruptly, and that clear honor were purchased by the merit of the wearer. How many then could cover that stand bare? How many be commanded that command? How much low peasantry would then be gleaned from the true seat of honor, and how much honor picked from the chaff and ruin of the times to be new varnished? Well, but to my choice. Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserveth. I will assume desert. Give me the key for this, and instantly unlock my fortunes here. What's here? The portrait of a blinking idiot? Who chooseth me shall have as much as he deserveth. Did I deserve no more than a fool's head? Is that my prize? Are my deserts no better?
To offend and judge are distinct offices and of opposed natures.
With one fool's head I came to woo, but now I go away with two. Sweet, adieu, I keep my oath, patiently to bear my wrath.
Thus hath the candle singed the moth.
Madam, there is alighted at your gate a young Venetian, one that comes before to signify the approaching of his lord, from whom he bringeth sensible regreets, to wit, besides commends and courteous breath, gifts of rich value. Yet I have not seen so likely an ambassador of love. The day in April never came so sweet to show how costly summer was at hand, as this forerunner comes before his lord.
No more, I pray thee. I am half afeard thou wilt say anon he is some kin to thee. Thou spendst such high day wit in praising him. Well, come, Nerissa, for I long to see quick Cupid's post that comes so mannerly.
Bassanio, Lord Love, if thy will it be.
Well, thou shalt see. Thy eye shall be thy judge, the difference of old Shylock and Bassanio. What, Jessica? Thou shalt not gourmandize, and thou hast done with me. What, Jessica? And sleep and snore and rend and peril out. What, Jessica, I say?
Why, Jessica?
Who bids thee call? I do not bid thee call.
Your worship was wont to tell me that I could do nothing without bidding.
Call you? What is your will?
I am bid forth to supper, Jessica. There are my keys, but wherefore should I go? I am not bid for love, they flatter me. But yet I'll go in hate to feed upon the prodigal Christian. Jessica, my girl, look to my house. I am right loath to go. There is some ill brewing towards my rest, for I did dream of money bags tonight.
I beseech you, sir, go! My young master doth expect your reproach.
And so do I his.
And they have conspired together. I will not say you shall see a mask.
What are these masks? The masks? Here you meet Jessica. Lock up my doors, and when you hear the drum and the vile squealing of the wry-necked fife, clamor not you up to the casements then, nor thrust your head into the public street to gaze on Christian fools with vanished faces, but stop my house's ears, I mean my casements. Let not the sound of shallow foppery enter my sober house. By Jacob's staff, I swear, I have no mind of feasting forth tonight, but I will go. Go you before me, sirrah. Say I will come.
I will go before, sir. Mistress, look out at the window for all this. There will come a Christian boy, will be worth a Jewess eye.
What says that fool of Haggard's offspring, huh?
His words were, "Farewell, mistress," nothing else.
The patch is kind enough, but a huge feeder, snail slow in profit, and he sleeps by day more than the wildcat. Drones hive not with me, therefore I part with him, and part with him to one that would have him help to waste his borrowed purse. Well, Jessica, go in. Perhaps I will return immediately. Do as I bid you, shut doors after you, fast bind, a proverb never stale in thrifty mind.
Farewell. And if my fortune be not crossed, I have a father, you a daughter lost.
This is the penthouse under which Lorenzo desired us to make stand.
This hour is almost past.
And it is marvel that he outdwells his hour, for lovers ever run before the clock.
Ugh! 10 times faster Venus pigeons fly to seal love's bonds new made than they are wont to keep obliged faith unforfeited.
That ever holds. Who riseth from a feast with that keen appetite that he sits down?
Here comes Lorenzo. More of this hereafter.
Sweet friends, your patience for my long abode. Not I, but my affairs have made you wait. When you shall please to play the thieves for wives, I'll watch as long for you then. Approach. Here dwells my father Jew. Oh, who's within?
Who are you? Tell me, for more certainly, albeit I'll swear that I do know your tongue.
Lorenzo, and thy love.
Lorenzo, certain, and my love indeed. For who love I so much? And now who knows but you, Lorenzo, whether I am yours?
Heaven and thy thoughts are witness that thou art.
Here, catch this casket. It is worth the pains. I am glad 'tis night. You do not look on me, for I am much ashamed of my exchange. But love is blind, and lovers cannot see the pretty follies that themselves commit. For if they could, Cupid himself would blush to see me thus transformed to a boy.
Descend, for you must be my torchbearer.
What? Must I hold a candle to my shames? They in themselves, good sooth, are too light. Why, 'tis an office of discovery, love, and I should be obscured.
So you are sweet, even in the lovely garnish of a boy. But come at once, for the close night doth play the runaway, and we are stayed for at Bassanio's feast.
I will make fast the doors, and gild myself with some more ducats, and be with you straight.
Now, by my hood, a Gentile and no Jew.
Beshrew me, but I love her heartily. For she is wise, if I can judge of her, and fair she is, if that mine eyes be true, and true she is, as she hath proved herself. And therefore, like herself, wise, fair, and true, shall she be placed in my constant soul. What? Art thou come? On, gentlemen, away! Our masking mates by this time for us stay.
Who's there?
Signor Antonio.
Fie, Graziano. Where are all the rest? 'Tis 9 o'clock. Our friends all stay for you. No mask tonight. The wind is come about. Bassanio presently will go aboard. I have sent 20 out to seek for you.
I am glad on't. I desire no more delight than to be under sail and gone tonight.
Why, man, I saw Bassanio under sail. With him is Gratiano gone along, and in their ship, I am sure Lorenzo is not.
That villain Jew, with outcries, raised the Duke, who went with him to search Bassanio's ship.
He came too late. The ship was under sail, but there the Duke was given to understand that in a gondola were seen together Lorenzo and his amorous Jessica. Besides, Antonio certified the Duke they were not with Bassanio in his ship.
I never heard a passion so confused, so strange, outrageous, and so variable as the dog Jew did utter in the streets. My daughter, oh, my ducats, oh, my daughter, fled with a Christian, oh, my Christian ducats, justice, the law, my ducats and my daughter, a sealed bag, 2 sealed bags of ducats, of double ducats, stolen from me by my daughter, and jewels, 2 stones, 2 rich and precious stones, stolen by my daughter. Justice, find the girl, she hath the stones upon her and the ducats.
Why, all the boys in Venice follow him crying, his stones, his daughter, and his ducats.
Let good Antonio look he keep his day, or he shall pay for this.
Marry, well remembered. I reasoned with a Frenchman yesterday who told me, in the narrow seas that part the French and the English, there miscarried a vessel of our country richly fraught. I thought upon Antonio when he told me, and wished in silence that it were not his.
You were best to tell Antonio what you hear. Yet do not suddenly, for it may grieve him.
A kinder gentleman treads not the earth. I saw Bassanio and Antonio part. Bassanio told him he would make some speed of his return. He answered, do not so, slubber not business for my sake, Bassanio, but stay the very riping of the time, and for the Jew's bond which he hath of me, let it not enter in your mind of love. Be merry and employ your chiefest thoughts to courtship, and such fair ostents of love as shall conveniently become you there. And even there, his eye being big with tears, turning his face, he put his hand behind him, and with affection wondrous, sensible, he wrung Bassanio's hand, and so they parted.
I think he only loves the world for him. I pray thee, let us go and find him out, and quicken his embraced heaviness with some delights or other.
Do we so?
Now, what news on the Rialto?
Why, it yet lives there unchecked that Antonio hath a ship of rich lading wrecked on the narrow seas, the Goodwins, I think they call the place, a very dangerous, flat and fatal, where the carcasses of many a tall ship lie buried, as they say, if my gossip report be an honest woman of her word.
I would she were as lying a gossip in that as ever Nap Ginger, or made her neighbors believe she wept for the death of a 3rd husband. But it is true, without any slips of felicity or crossing the plain highway of talk, that the good Antonio, the honest Antonio, oh, that I had a title good enough to keep his name company.
Come, the full stop.
Huh, what sayest thou? Why, the end is he hath lost a ship.
I would it might prove the end of his losses.
Let me say amen betimes, lest the devil cross my prayer, for here he comes in the likeness of a Jew. How now, Shylock? What news among the merchants?
You knew. None so well as you of my daughter's flight.
That's certain. I, for my part, knew the tailor that made the wings she flew withal.
And Shylock, for his own part, knew the bird was fledged. And then it is the complexion of them all to leave the dam.
She is damned for it.
That's certain, if the devil may be her judge.
My own flesh and blood to rebel.
Out upon it, O carrion, rebels it at these years?
I say, My daughter is my flesh and blood.
There is more difference between thy flesh and hers than between jet and ivory. More between your bloods than there is between red wine and Rhenish. But tell us, do you hear whether Antonio have had any loss at sea or no?
There. I have another bad match. A bankrupt and prodigal who dare scarce show his head on the Rialto. A beggar that was used to come so smug upon the mart. Let him look to his bond. He was wont to call me usurer. Let him look to his bond. He was wont to lend money for a Christian courtesy. Let him look to his bond.
Why, I am sure if he forfeit, thou wilt not take his flesh. What's that good for?
To bait fish withal. If it will feed nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He hath disgraced me and hindered me $500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated mine enemies. And what's his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you and the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be? By Christian example. Why? Revenge. The villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it shall go hard, but I will better the instruction.
Gentlemen, my master Antonio is at his house and desires to speak with you both.
We have been up and down to seek him.
Comes another of the tribe. A third cannot be matched unless the devil himself turn Jew.
How now, too well. What news from Genoa? Hast thou found my daughter?
I often came where I did hear of her, but cannot find her.
Why, there. A diamond gone. It cost me 2,000 ducats in Frankfurt. The curse never fell upon our nation till now. I never felt it till now. 2,000 ducats in that, and other precious jewels. I would my daughter were dead at my foot and the jewels in her ear. Would she were hearsed at my foot and the ducats in her coffin. No news of them. Why so? And I know not what's spent in the search. Why thou loss upon loss, and thief gone with so much, and so much to find the thief, and no satisfaction, no revenge, no luck in stirring, but what lights on my shoulders, no sighs but of my breathing, no tears but of my shedding.
Yes, other men have had ill luck too. Antonio, as I heard in Genoa.
Ill luck.
hath an argosy castaway coming from Tripolis.
Thank God! I thank God! Is it true? Is it true?
I spoke with some of the sailors that escaped the wreck.
Thank thee, Tubal. Good, Tubal, good news. Good news. Where? Genoa.
Your daughter spent in Genoa, as I heard, in one night, 80 ducats.
Sticks the dagger in me. I shall never see my gold again. 80 ducats at a sitting. 80 ducats.
There came divers of Antonio's creditors in my company to Venice that swear he cannot choose but break.
I'm very glad of it. I'll plague him, I'll torture him. I'm glad of it.
One of them showed me a ring he had of your daughter for a monkey.
Out upon her. Oh, thou torturest me, Tubal. It was my turquoise. I had it of Leah when I was a bachelor. I would not have given it for a wilderness of monkeys.
But Antonio is certainly undone.
Nay, that's true. That's very true. Go, Tubal. Fee me an officer. Bespeak him a fortnight before. I will have the heart of him if he forfeit for worry out of Venice. I can make what merchandise I will. Go, Tubal, and meet me at our synagogue. Go, good Tubal, at our synagogue, Tubal.
I pray you, tarry, pause a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong, I lose your company. Therefore, forbear a while. There's something tells me, but it is not love. I would not lose you. And you know yourself, hate counsels not in such equality. But lest you should not understand me well, and yet a maiden hath no tongue but thought, I would detain you here some month or two before you venture for me. I could teach you how to choose right. But I am then forsworn. So will I never be. So may you miss me. But if you do, you'll make me wish a sin that I had been forsworn. Beshrew your eyes. They have looked me and divided me. One half of me is yours, the other half yours. Mine own, I would say, but if mine, then yours. And so all yours. Oh, these naughty times put bars between the owners and their rights. And so though yours, not yours. Prove it so. Let fortune go to hell for it. Not I. I speak too long, but it is to pies the time, to eke it and to draw it out in length, to stay you from election.
Let me choose, for as I am, I live upon the rack.
Upon the rack, Bassanio, then confess what treason there is mingled with your love.
None but that ugly treason of mistrust, which makes me fear the enjoying of my love. There may as well be amity and life tween fire and snow as treason and my love.
Aye, but I fear you speak upon the rack, where men in force do speak anything.
Promise me life, and I'll confess the truth.
Well then, confess and live.
Confess and love had been the very sum of my confession. Oh, happy torment when my torturer doth teach me answers for deliverance. But let me to my fortune and the caskets.
Away then. I am locked in one of them. If you do love me, you will find me out. Nerissa and the rest stand all aloof. Let music sound while he doth make his choice, then if he lose, he makes a swan-like end, fading in music, that the comparison may stand more proper. My eye shall be the stream and watery deathbed for him. He may win. And what is music then? Then music is even as the flourish when true subjects bow to a new crowned monarch. Such it is, as are those dulcet sounds in break of day that creep into the dreaming bridegroom's ear and summon him to marriage. Go, Hercules. Live, though I live. With much, much more dismay, I view the fight than thou that makest the fray.
The world is still deceived with ornament. Look on beauty, and you shall see 'tis purchased by the weight, which therein works a miracle in nature. For this ornament is but the guiled shore to a most dangerous sea, the beauteous scarf veiling an Indian beauty. In a word, the seeming truth which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. Therefore, thou gaudy gold, hard food for Midas, I will none of thee. Nor none of thee, thou pale and common drudge between male and man. But thou meager lead, which rather threatenest than doth promise aught. Thy plainness moves me more than eloquence. And here choose I, joy be the consequence. What find I here? Fair Portia's contraband. What demigod hath come so near creation? Oh, move these eyes. Or whether riding on the balls of mine, seem they in motion? Here are severed lips, parted with sugar breath. So sweet a bar should sunder such sweet friends. Here in her hairs the painter plays the spider, and hath woven a golden mesh to entrap the hearts of men, faster than gnats and cobwebs. But her eyes, how could he see to do them? Having made one, methinks it should have power to steal both his and leave itself unfurnished. Here's the scroll, the continent and summary of my fortune. You that choose not by the view, chance is fair and choose as true. Since this fortune falls to you, be content and seek no new. If you be well pleased with this and hold your fortune for your bliss, turn you where your lady is and claim her with a loving kiss. Fair lady, by your leave, I come by note to give and to receive, as doubtful whether what I see be true until confirmed, signed, ratified by you.
You see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am. Though for myself alone, I would not be ambitious in my wish to wish myself much better. Yet for you, I would be trebled 20 times myself, 1,000 times more fair, 10,000 times more rich, that only to stand high in your account, I might in virtue, beauties, livings, friends, exceed account. But the full sum of me is sum of something, which, to term and gross, is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpracticed. But happy in this, she is not yet so old, but she may learn. Happier than this, she is not bred so dull, but she can learn. Happiest of all is that her gentle spirit commits itself to yours to be directed, as from her lord, her governor, her king. Myself and what is mine to you, and yours is now converted. But now I was the lord of this fair mansion, master of my servants, queen myself, and even now, but now with this house, these servants, and this same myself are yours, my lord. I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose, or give away, let it presage you ruin of your love, and be my vantage to exclaim on you.
Madam, you have bereft me of all words. Now, only my blood speaks to you in my veins, and there is such confusion in my powers, expressed and not expressed. But when this ring parts from this finger, then parts life from hence. Oh, then be bold to say Bassanio's dead.
My lord and lady, it is now our time that have stood by and seen our wishes prosper to cry good joy. Good joy, my lord and lady.
My lord Bassanio and my gentle lady, I wish you all the joy that you can wish, for I am sure you can wish none for me, and when your honors mean to solemnize the bargain of your faith, I do beseech you, even at that time, I may be married too.
With all my heart, so thou canst get a wife.
I thank your lordship, you have got me one. My eyes, my lord, can look as swift as yours. You saw the mistress, I beheld the maid. You loved, I loved. For intermission, no more pertains to me, my lord, than you. Your fortune stood upon the casket there, and so did mine too, as the matter falls. And sweating until my very roof was dry, with oaths of love at last, if promise last, I got a promise of this fair one here to have her love, provided that your fortune achieved your mistress.
Is this true, Nerissa?
Madam, it is, so you stand pleased withal.
And do you, Gratiano, mean good faith?
Yes, faith, my lord.
Our feast shall be much honored in your marriage.
We'll play with them the first boy for 1,000 ducats.
What, and stake down?
No, we shall ne'er win at that sport and stake down. But who comes here? Lorenzo and his infidel? What? And my old Venetian friend Salerio?
Lorenzo and Salerio, welcome hither. If that the youth of my new interest here have power to bid you welcome, by your leave, I bid my very friends and countrymen, sweet Portia, welcome.
So do I, my lord. They are entirely welcome.
I thank your honor. For my part, my lord, my purpose was not to have seen you here. But meeting with Salerio, by the way, he did entreat me, past all saying nay, to come with him along.
I did, my lord, and I have reason for it. Signor Antonio commends him to you.
Ere I ope his letter, I pray you, tell me how my good friend doth.
Not sick, my lord, unless it be in mind, nor well, unless in mind. His letter there will show you his estate.
Neriss, cheery on, stranger, bitter welcome. Your hand, Salerio. What's the news from Venice? How doth that royal merchant good Antonio? I know he will be glad of our success. We are the Jasons, we have won the fleece.
I would you had won the fleece that he hath lost.
There are some shrewd contents in yon same paper that steals the color from Bassanio's cheek. With leave, Bassanio, I am half yourself, and I must freely have the half of anything that this same paper brings you.
Oh, sweet Portia. Here are a few of the unpleasantest words that ever blotted paper. Gentle lady, I have engaged myself to a dear friend, engaged my friend to his mere enemy, to feed my needs. Here is a letter, lady, the paper as the body of my friend, and every word in it a gaping wound issuing lifeblood. But is it true, Salerio? Have all his ventures failed? What, not one hit? From Tripoli, from Mexico and England, from Lisbon, Barbary, and India? And not one vessel escaped the dreadful touch of merchant marring rots?
Not one, my lord. Besides, it should appear that if he had the present money to discharge the Jew, he would not take it. Never did I know a creature that did bear the shape of man so keen and greedy to confound a man. He plies the Duke at morning and at night, and doth impeach the freedom of the state if they deny him justice. 20 merchants, the Duke himself, and the magnificos of greatest port have all persuaded with him. But none can drive him from the envious plea of forfeiture, of justice, and his bond.
When I was with him, I have heard him swear to Tubal and to Chus, his countrymen, that he would rather have Antonio's flesh than 20 times the value of the sum that he did owe him. And I know, my lord, if law, authority, and power deny not, it will go hard with poor Antonio.
Is it your dear friend that is thus in trouble?
The dearest friends to me. the kindest man, the best conditioned and unwearied spirit in doing courtesies, and one in whom the ancient Roman honor more appears than any that draws breath in Italy.
What sum owes he the Jew?
For me, 3,000 ducats.
Wait, what? No more? We'll pay him 6,000 and deface the bond, double 6,000, and then treble that, before a friend of this description shall lose a hair through Bassanio's fault. First, go with me to church and call me wife, and then away to Venice to your friend, for never shall you lie by Portia's side with an unquiet soul. You shall have gold to pay the petty debt 20 times over, and when it is paid, bring your true friend along. My maid Nerissa and myself, meantime, will live as maids and widows. Come away, for you shall hence upon your wedding day. Bid your friends welcome, show a merry cheer. Since you are dear bought, I will love you dear. But let me hear the letter of your friend.
Sweet Bassanio, my ships have all miscarried. My creditors grow cruel. My estate is very low. My bond to the Jew is forfeit. And since in paying it, it is impossible I should live, all debts are cleared between you and I. If I might but see you at my death. Notwithstanding, use your pleasure. If your love do not persuade you to come, let not my letter.
Oh, love, dispatch all business and be gone.
Since I have your good leave to go away, I will make haste. But till I come again, no bed shall e'er be guilty of my stay, no rest be interposed twixt us twain.
Jailer, look to him. Tell not me of mercy, this is the fool that lent out money gratis. Jailer, look to him.
My kind Antonio, I cannot hear you.
Jailer.
Hear me yet, good Shylock.
I'll have my bond. Speak not against my bond. I have sworn an oath that I will have my bond. Thou calledst me dog before thou hadst a cause, but since I am a dog, beware my fangs. The Duke shall grant me justice. I do wonder, thou naughty jailer, that thou art so fond to come abroad with him at his request.
I pray thee, hear me speak.
I'll have my bond. I will not hear thee speak. I'll have my bond, and therefore speak no more. I'll not be made a soft and dull-eyed fool to shake the head, relent, and sigh, and yield to Christian intercessors. Follow not. I'll have no speaking. I'll have my bond.
It is the most impenetrable cur that ever kept with men.
Let him alone. I'll follow him no more with bootless prayers. He seeks my life, his reason well I know. I oft delivered from his forfeitures many that have at times made moan to me, therefore he hates me.
I am sure the Duke will never grant this forfeiture to hold.
The Duke cannot deny the course of law, for the commodity that strangers have with us in Venice, if it be denied, will much impeach the justice of the state, since that the trade and profit of the city consists of all nations. Therefore go. These griefs and losses have so baited me that I shall hardly spare a pound of flesh tomorrow to my bloody creditor. Well, jailer, on. Pray God, Bassanio, come to see me pay his debt, and then I care not.
Madam, although I speak it in your presence, you have a noble and true conceit of godlike amity, which appears most strongly in bearing thus the absence of your lord. But if you knew to whom you show this honor, how true a gentleman you send relief, how dear a lover of my lord your husband, I know you would be prouder of the work than customary bounty can enforce you.
I never did repent for doing good, nor shall not now. For in companions that do converse and waste the time together, whose souls do bear an equal yoke of love, there must be needs a like proportion of lineaments, of manners, and of spirit. Which makes me think that this Antonio, being the bosom lover of my lord, must needs be like my lord. If it be so, how little is the cost I have bestowed in purchasing the semblance of my soul from out the state of hellish misery. This comes too near the praising of myself, therefore no more of it. Here are the things. Lorenzo, I commit into your hands the husbandry and manage of my house until my lord's return. For mine own part, I have toward heaven breathed a secret vow to live in prayer and contemplation, only attended by Nerissa here, until her husband and my lord's return. There is a monastery 2 miles off, and there will we abide. I do desire you not to deny this imposition, the which my love and some necessity now lays upon you.
Madam, with all my heart, I shall obey you in all fair commands.
My people do already know my mind, and will acknowledge you and Jessica in place of Lord Bassanio and myself. And so, farewell, till we shall meet again.
Fair thoughts and happy hours attend on you.
I wish your ladyship all hearts content.
I thank you for your wish, and I am well pleased to wish it back on you. Fare you well, Jessica. Now, Balthazar, as have I ever found thee honest true, so let me find thee still. Take this same letter, and use thou all the endeavour of a man, and speed to Padua. See thou render this into my cousin's hand, Dr. Bellario, and look what notes and garments he doth give thee, bring them, I pray thee, with imagined speed, unto the Tranect, to the common ferry which trades to Venice. Waste no time in words, but get thee gone, I shall be there before thee.
Madam, I go with all convenient speed.
Come on, Nerissa, I have work in hand that you yet know not of. We'll see our husbands before they think of us.
Shall they see us?
They shall, Nerissa, but in such a habit that they shall think we are accomplished with that we lack. I'll hold thee any wager when we are both accoutred like young men. I'll prove the prettier fellow of the two, and wear my dagger with a braver grace, and speak between the change of man and boy with a reed voice, and turn 2 mincing steps into a manly stride, and speak a phrase like a fine bragging youth, and tell quaint lies. How honourable ladies doth sought my love, which I denying, they fell sick and died. I could not do withal. Then I'll repent and wish for all that I had not killed them. And 20 of these puny lies I'll tell, that men shall swear I have discontinued school about a 12-month. I have within my mind 1,000 raw tricks of these bragging jacks, which I will practice.
Why, shall we turn to men?
Why, what a question's that, if thou wert near a lewd interpreter? But come, I'll tell thee all my whole device when I'm in my coach, which stays for us at the park gate. And therefore haste away, for we must measure 20 miles today.
What? Is Antonio here?
Ready, so please your grace.
I am sorry for thee. Thou art come to answer a stony adversary, an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity, void, and empty from any dram of mercy.
I have heard your grace hath taken great pains to qualify his rigorous course. But since he stands obdurate in that no lawful means may carry me out of his envy's reach, I do oppose my patience to his fury, and am armed to suffer with a quietness of spirit the very tyranny and rage of his.
Go on, and call the Jew into the court.
He is ready at the door. He comes, my lord.
Make room, and let him stand before our face. Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so too, that thou hast but leads this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of act, and then, 'tis thought, Thou'lt show thy mercy and remorse more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty. And where thou now exactest the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh, thou wilt not only lose the forfeiture, but, touched with human gentleness and love, forgive a moiety of the principal, glancing an eye of pity on his losses that have so late huddled on his back, even now to press a royal merchant down and pluck commiseration from his state, from brassy bosoms and rough hearts of flint, from stubborn Turks and Tartars, never trained to offices of tender courtesy. We all expect a gentle answer, Jew.
I have possessed your grace of what I purpose. And by our holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond. If you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. You'll ask me why I rather choose to have a weight of carrion flesh than to receive 3,000 ducats. I'll not answer that, but say it is my humor. Is it answered? What if my house be troubled with a rat, and I please to give 10,000 ducats to have it banned? What? Are you answered yet? Some men there are love not a gaping pig, some that are mad if they behold a cat, and others, when the bagpipe sings in the nose, cannot contain their urine. For affection, mistress of passion, sways it to the mood of what it likes or loathes. Now, for your answer. As there is no firm reason to be rendered why he cannot abide a gaping pig, why he a harmless, necessary cat, why he a woolen bagpipe, but of force must yield to such inevitable shame as to offend, he himself being offended. So can I give no reason, nor I will not, more than a lodged hate and a certain loathing I bear Antonio, that I follow thus a losing suit against him. Are you answered?
This is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty.
I am not bound to please thee with my answers.
Do all men kill the things they do not love?
Hates any man the thing he would not kill?
Every offense is not a hate at first.
What? Wouldst thou have a serpent sting thee twice?
I pray you, think you question with the Jew. You may as well go stand upon the beach and bid the main flood bait his usual height. You may as well use question with the wolf why he hath made the ewe bleat for the lamb. You may as well forbid the mountain pines to wag their high tops and to make no noise when they are fretting with the gusts of heaven. You may as well do anything most hard as to seek to soften that, than what's harder? His Jewish heart. Therefore, I do beseech you, make no more offers, use no more farther means, but with all brief and plain conveniency, let me have judgment and the Jew his will.
For thy 3,000 ducats, here is 6.
Oh, what judgment shall I dread? Doing were in 6 parts, and every part a ducat. I would not draw them. I would have my bond.
How shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none?
What judgment shall I dread, doing no wrong? You have among you many a purchased slave, which, like your asses and your dogs and mules, you use in abject and in slavish parts, because you bought them. Shall I say to you, let them be free, marry them to your heirs? Why sweat they under burthens? Let their beds be made as soft as yours, and let their palates be seasoned with such viands. You will answer, the slaves are ours. So do I answer you. The pound of flesh which I demand of him is dearly bought. 'Tis mine, and I will have it. If you deny me, fie upon your law. There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand for judgment. Answer, shall I have it?
Upon my power, I may dismiss this court unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today.
My lord, here stays without a messenger with letters from the doctor, new come from Padua.
Bring us the letter. Call the messenger.
Good cheer, Antonio. What, man, courage yet? The Jew shall have my flesh, blood, bones, and all, ere thou shalt lose from me one drop of blood.
I am a tainted wether of the flock, meet is for death. The weakest kind of fruit drops earliest to the ground, and so let me. You could not better be employed, Bassanio, than to live still and write mine epitaph.
Come you from Padua? From Bellario?
From both, my lord. Bellario greets your grace.
Why dost thou whet thy knife so earnestly?
To cut the forfeiture from that bankrupt there.
On thy soul, but on thy soul, harsh Jew, thou makest thy knife keen. But no metal can, no, not the hangman's axe, bear half the keenness of thy sharp envy. No prayers pierce thee?
No, none that thou hast wit enough to make.
Thou damned and inexorable dog. For thy life, let justice be accused. Now almost makes me waver in my faith to hold opinion with Pythagoras, that souls of animals infuse themselves into the trunks of men. Thy courage spirit governed a wolf, who hanged for human slaughter, even from the gallows that is fell so fleet, and whilst thou layest in thy unhallowed den, infused itself in thee. For thy desires are wolvish, bloody, starved, and ravenous.
Till thou canst rail the seal from off my bond, thou but offend'st thy lungs to speak so loud. Repair thy wit, good youth, or it will fall to cureless ruin. I stand here for law.
This letter from Bellario doth commend a young and learned doctor to our court. Where is he?
He attendeth here hard by to know your answer whether you'll admit him.
With all my heart! Send 3 or 4 of you to give him courteous conduct to this place. Meantime, the court shall hear Bellario's letter. Your grace shall understand that at the receipt of your letter I am very sick. But in the instant that your messenger came, in loving visitation was with me a young doctor of Rome. His name is Balthasa. I acquainted him with the cause and controversy between the Jew and Antonio the merchant. We turned o'er many books together. He is furnished with my opinion, which, bettered with his own learning, the greatness whereof I cannot enough commend, comes with him at my importunity to fill up your grace's request in my stead. I beseech you, let his lack of years be no impediment to let him lack a reverend estimation, for I never knew so young a body with so old a head. I leave him to your gracious acceptance, whose trial shall better publish his condemnation. You hear the learned Bellario what he writes, and here, I take it, is the doctor come. Give me your hand. Come you from old Bellario?
I did, my lord.
You are welcome. Take your place. Are you acquainted with the difference that holds this present question in the court?
I am informed thoroughly of the cause. So which is the merchant here, and which the Jew?
Antonio and old Shylock. Both stand forth.
Is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
Of a strange nature is the suit you follow, yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. You stand within his danger, do you not?
Aye, so he says.
Do you confess the bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful?
On what compulsion must I? Tell me that.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show like God's when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, thou justice be thy plea. Consider this, that in the course of justice, none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I've spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which, if thou follow, this strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
My deeds upon my head. I crave the law, the penalty and forfeit of my bond.
Is he not able to discharge the money?
Yes, here I tender it for him in the court. Yea, twice the sum. If that will not suffice, I will be bound to pay it 10 times over, on forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. If this will not suffice, it must appear that malice bears down truth. And I beseech you, rest once the law to your authority. To do a great right, do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will.
It must not be. There is no power in Venice can alter a decree established. 'Twill be recorded for a precedent, and many in error by the same example will rush into the state. It cannot be.
A Daniel come to judgment. Yea, a Daniel. O wise young judge, how I do honor thee.
I pray you, let me look upon the bond.
Here it is, most reverend doctor. Here it is.
Shylock, there's thrice the money offered thee.
An oath. I have an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury upon my soul? No, not for Venice.
Why, this bond is forfeit, and lawfully by this the Jew may claim a pound of flesh to be by him cut off nearest the merchant's heart. Be merciful. Take thrice thy money. Bid me tear the bond.
When it is paid according to the tenor, it doth appear you are a worthy judge. You know the law, your exposition hath been most sound. I charge you by the law, whereof you are a well-deserving pillar. Proceed to judgment. By my soul, I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me. I stay here on my bond.
Most heartily, I do beseech the court to give the judgment.
Why then, thus it is. You must prepare your bosom for his knife.
O noble judge, O excellent young man.
For the intent and purpose of the law hath full relation to the penalty, which here appeareth due upon the bond.
It is very true. O wise and upright judge, how much more elder art thou than thy looks.
Therefore lay bare your bosom.
I, his breast, so says the bond, doth it not, noble judge? Nearest his heart, those are the very words.
It is so. Are there balance here to weigh the flesh?
I have them ready.
Have by some surgeon, Shylock, on your charge to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death.
Is it so nominated in the bond?
It is not so expressed, but what of that? 'Twere good you do so much for charity.
I cannot find it. It is not in the bond.
And you, merchant, have you anything to say?
But little. I am armed and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. Fare you well. Grieve not that I am fallen to this for you, for herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom. It is still her use to let the wretched man outlive his wealth, to view with hollow eye and wrinkled brow an age of poverty, from which lingering penance of such misery doth she cut me off. Repent but that you shall lose your friend, and he repents not that he pays your debt. For if the Jew do cut but deep enough, I'll pay it presently with all my heart.
Antonio, I am married to a wife which is as dear to me as life itself. But life itself, my wife, and all the world are not with me esteemed above thy life. I would lose all. I sacrifice them all here to this devil to deliver you.
Your wife would give you little thanks for that, if she were by to hear you make the offer.
I have a wife whom I protest I love. Would she were in heaven so she could entreat some power to change this cursed Jew.
Well, you offered behind her back, the wish would make else an unquiet house.
These be the Christian husbands. I have a daughter. Would any of the stock of Barabbas had been her husband rather than a Christian? We trifle time, I pray thee, pursue sentence.
A pound of that same merchant's flesh is thine. The court awards it, and the law doth give it.
Most rightful judge.
And you must cut this flesh from off his breast. The law allows it, and the court awards it.
Most learned judge. A sentence. Come, prepare.
Tarry a little. There is something else. This bond doth give thee here no jot of blood. The words expressly are a pound of flesh. Take then thy bond, take thou pound of flesh. But in the cutting it, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, thy lands and goods are, by the laws of Venice, confiscate under the state of Venice.
Oh, upright judge. Mark Jew, oh, learned judge.
That the law?
Thyself shall see the act, for as thou urgest justice, be assured thou shalt have justice more than thou desirest.
Oh, learned judge. Mark Jew, a learned judge.
I take this offer, then pay the bond thrice, and let the Christian go.
Here is the money.
Soft. The Jew shall have all justice, soft, no haste. He shall have nothing but the penalty.
Oh, Jew, an upright judge, a learned judge.
Therefore, prepare thee to cut off the flesh. Shed thou no blood, nor cut thou less nor more, but just a pound of flesh. If thou cuts more or less than a just pound, be it but so much as makes it light or heavy in the substance, or the division of the 20th part of one poor scruple, nay, if the scale do turn but in the estimation of a hair, thou diest, and all thy goods are confiscate.
A second, Daniel. Daniel, Jew. Now, infidel, I have you on the hip.
Why doth the Jew pause? Take thy forfeiture.
Give me my principal and let me go.
I have it ready for thee. Here it is.
No, he hath refused it in the open court. He shall have merely justice and his bond.
Daniel, still say I a second, Daniel. I thank thee, Jew, for teaching me that word.
Shall I not have barely my principal?
Thou shalt have nothing but the forfeiture, to be so taken at thy peril, Jew.
Why then, the devil give him good of it. I'll stay no longer question.
Tarry, Jew. The law hath yet another hold on you. It is enacted in the laws of Venice. If it be proved against an alien that by direct or indirect attempts to seek the life of any citizen, the party against the which he doth contrive shall seize 1/2 his goods. The other half comes to the privy coffer of the state, and the offender's life lies in the mercy of the Duke only, against all other voice. In which predicament I say thou standst, for it appears by manifest proceeding that indirectly and directly too, Thou hast contrived against the very life of the defendant, and thou hast incurred the danger formerly by me rehearsed. Down, therefore, and beg mercy of the Duke.
Beg that thou mayst have leave to hang thyself, and yet thy wealth being forfeit to the state, thou hast not left the value of a cord. Therefore thou must be hanged at the state's charge.
That thou shalt see the difference of our spirits, I pardon thee thy life before thou ask it. For half thy wealth, it is Antonio's. The other half comes to the general state, which humbleness may drive unto a fine.
I, for the state, not for Antonio.
They take my life and all. Pardon not that. Take my house. When you do take the prop that doth sustain my house, you take my life when you do take the means whereby I live.
What mercy can you render him, Antonio?
Alter gratis, nothing else, for God's sake.
So please my lord the Duke and all the court to quit the fine for one half of his goods. I am content. So he will let me have the other half in use to render it upon his death unto the gentleman that lately stole his daughter. 2 things provided more, that for this favor he presently become a Christian. The other, that he do record a gift here in the court of all he dies possessed unto his son Lorenzo and his daughter.
He shall do this, or else I do recant the pardon that I late pronounced here.
Art thou contented, Jew? What dost thou say?
I am content.
Clerk, draw a deed of gift.
I pray you, give me leave to go from hence. I am not well. Send the deed after me, and I will sign it.
Get thee gone. But do it!
In christening shalt thou have 2 godfathers. Had I been judged, thou shouldst have had 10 more to bring thee to the gallows, not the font.
Sir, I entreat you home with me to dinner.
I humbly do desire your grace of pardon. I must away this night toward Padua, and it is meet I presently set forth.
I am sorry that your leisure serves you not. Antonio, gratify this gentleman, for in my mind you are much bound to him.
Worthy gentlemen, I and my friend have by your wisdom been this day acquitted of grievous penalties. In lieu whereof 3,000 ducats due unto the Jew, we freely cope your courteous pains withal.
And stand indebted over and above in love and service to you evermore.
He is well paid, that is well satisfied, and I, delivering you, am satisfied, and therein do account myself well paid. My mind was never yet more mercenary. I pray you, know me when we meet again. I wish you well, and so I take my leave.
Dear sir, of course, I must attempt you further. Take some remembrance of us as a tribute, not as a fee. Grant me 2 things, I pray you, not to deny me and to pardon me.
Well, you press me far, and therefore I will yield. Give me your gloves. I'll wear them for your sake. And for your love, I'll take this ring from you. Do not draw back your hand. I'll take no more, and you in love shall not deny me this.
Oh, this ring, good sir, alas, it is a trifle. I will not shame myself to give you this.
Well, I will have nothing else, but only this, and now methinks I have a mind to it.
There's more depends on this than on the value. The dearest ring in Venice will I give you, and find it out by proclamation. Only for this, I pray you pardon me.
I see, sir. You are liberal in offers. You taught me first to beg, and now methinks you teach me how a beggar should be answered.
Good sir, this ring was given me by my wife. And when she put it on, she made me vow that I should never sell, nor give, nor lose it.
That excuse serves many men to save their gifts. And if your wife be not a mad woman, and know how well I have deserved the ring, She would not hold out enemy forever for giving it to me. Oh, well, peace be with you.
My lord Bassanio, let him have the ring. Let his deservings and my love will all be valued against your wife's command.
Go, Gratiano, run and overtake him. Give him the ring and bring him, if thou canst, unto Antonio's house. Away, make haste. Come, you and I will thither presently, and in the morning early we will both fly toward Belmont. Come, Antonio.
Inquire the Jew's house out, give him this deed, and let him sign it. We'll away tonight, and be a day before our husband's home. This deed will be well welcome to Lorenzo.
Sir, you're well ordained. My lord Bassanio, upon more advice, has sent you here this ring, and thus entreat you your company at dinner.
That cannot be. But his ring I do accept most thankfully. And so I pray you tell him, furthermore, I pray you, show my youth old Shylock's house.
That will I do.
Sir, I would speak with you. I'll see if I can get my husband's ring, which I did make him swear to keep forever.
Thou mayest, I warrant. We shall have old swearing that they did give the rings away to men. But we'll outface them and outswear them too, aloud. Oh, wait, and make haste. Thou knowest where I will tarry.
Come, good sir, will you show me to this house?
The moon shines bright in such a night as this, when the sweet wind did gently kiss the trees, and they did make no noise. In such a night, Troilus, methinks, mounted the Trojan walls and sighed his soul toward the Grecian tents, where Cressid lay that night.
In such a night did Thisbe fearfully o'erstrip the dew, and saw the lion's shadow ere himself, and ran dismayed away.
In such a night stood Dido, with a willow in her hand, upon the wild sea banks, and waft her love to come again to Carthage.
In such a night Medea gathered the enchanted herbs that did renew old Aeson.
In such a night did Jessica steal from the wealthy Jew, and with an unthrift love did run from Venice as far as Belmont.
In such a night did young Lorenzo swear he loved her well, stealing her stole with many vows of faith, and ne'er a true one.
In such a night did pretty Jessica, like a little shrew, slander her love, and he forgave it her.
I would outnight you, did nobody come, but hark, I hear the footing of a man.
Who comes so fast in silence of the night?
A friend.
Friend? What friend? Your name, I pray you, friend.
Stefano is my name, and I bring word my mistress will, before the break of day, be here at Belmont. She doth stray about by holy crosses, where she kneels and prays for happy wedlock hours.
Who comes with her?
None, but a holy hermit and her maid. I pray you, is my master yet returned?
He is not, nor have we not heard from him. But we go in, I pray thee, Jessica, and ceremoniously let us prepare some welcome for the mistress of the house. Sweet soul, let's in, and there expect their coming. And yet no matter. Why should we go in? My friend Stefano, signify, I pray you, within the house your mistress is at hand, and bring your music forth into the air. How sweet the moonlight sleeps upon the bank. Here will we sit, and let the sounds of music creep in our ears. Soft stillness and the night becomes the touches of sweet harmony. Sit, Jessica. Look how the floor of heaven is thick inlaid with patines of bright gold. There's not the smallest orb which thou beholdest, but in his motion like an angel sings, still choiring to the young-eyed cherubims. Such harmony is in immortal souls, but whilst this muddy vesture of decay doth grossly close it in, we cannot hear it.
I am never merry when I hear sweet music.
The reason is, your spirits are attentive. For do but note a wild and wanton herd, or race of youthful, unhandled cults, fetching mad bounds, bellowing and neighing loud, which is the hot condition of their blood. If they but hear perchance a trumpet sound, or any air of music touch their ears, you shall perceive them make a mutual stand, their savage eyes turned to a modest gaze by the sweet power of music. Therefore the poet did feign that Orpheus drew trees, stones, and floods, since not so stockish, hard, and full of rage. But music for the time doth change his nature. A man that hath no music in himself, nor is not moved with concord of sweet sounds, is fit for treasons, stratagems, and spoils. The motions of his spirit are dull as night, and his affections dark as Erebus. Let no such man be trusted. Mark the music.
That light we see is burning in my hall. How far that little candle throws its beams, so shines a good deed in a naughty world.
When the moon shone, we did not see the candle.
So doth the greater glory dim the less. A substitute shines brightly as a king, unto the king be by, and then his state empties itself as doth an inland brook into the main of waters. Our music, hark.
It is your music, madam, of the house.
Nothing is good, I see, without respect. Methinks it sounds much sweeter than by day.
Silence bestows that virtue on it, madam.
The crow doth sing as sweetly as the lark, when neither is attended, and I think the nightingale, if she should sing by day, when every goose is cackling, would be thought no better a musician than the wren. How many things by seasons seasoned are, to their right praise and true perfection?
That is the voice, or I am much deceived, of Portia.
He knows me as the blind man knows the cuckoo by the bad voice.
Dear lady, welcome home.
We have been praying for our husbands' healths, which speed we hope the better for our words. Are they returned?
Madam, they are not yet. But there is come a messenger before to signify their coming.
Go in, Nerissa. Give order to my servants that they take no note at all of our being absent hence. And nor you, Lorenzo, Jessica, nor you.
We are no telltales, madam, fear you not.
This night, methinks, is but the daylight sick. It looks a little paler. 'Tis a day, such as the day is when the sun is hid.
Should hold day with the Antipodes, if you would walk in absence of the sun.
Let me give light, but let me not be light, for a light wife doth make a heavy husband, and never be Bassanio so for me. But God sought all. You are welcome home, my lord.
I thank you, madam. Give welcome to my friend. This is the man, this is Antonio, to whom I am so infinitely bound.
You should in all sense be much bound to him, for as I hear, he was much bound for you.
No more than I am well acquitted of.
Sir, you're very welcome to our house.
By yonder moon, I swear you do me wrong. In faith, I gave it to the judge's clerk. Would he were guilt that had it for my part, since you do take it, love, so much at heart.
A quarrel? Ho, already? What's the
About a
matter?
About a hoop of gold, a paltry ring that she did give me, whose posy was for all the world like Cutler's poetry upon a knife. Love me and leave me not?
Oh, what talk you of the posy or the value? You swore to me when I did give it you that you would wear it till your hour of death, and that it should lie with you in your grave. Though not for me, yet for your vehement oaths, you should have been respective and kept it. Gave it a judge's clerk. No, God's my judge. The clerk will ne'er wear hair on's face that had it.
He will, and if he lived to be a man.
Aye, if a woman lived to be a man.
Now, bite his hand, I give it to a youth, a kind of boy, a little scrubbed boy, no higher than thyself. The judge's clerk, a prating boy that begged it as a fee. I could not from my heart deny it him.
You were to blame. I must be playing with you. To part so slightly with your wife's first gift. A thing stuck on with oaths upon your finger, and so riveted with faith upon your flesh. I gave my love a ring and made him swear never to part with it. Here he stands. I dare be sworn for him he would not leave it, nor pluck it from his finger, for the wealth that the world masters. Now, in faith, Gratiano, you give your wife too unkind a cause of grief, and 'twere to me, I would be mad at it.
My lord Bassanio gave his ring away unto the judge that begged it, and indeed deserved it too. And then the boy, his clerk, that took some pains in writing, he begged mine, and neither man nor master would take aught but the 2 rings.
What ring gave you, my lord? Not that, I hope, which you received of me.
If I could add a lie unto a fault, I would deny it. But you see, my finger had not the ring upon it. It is gone.
Even so void is your false heart of truth. By heaven, I will ne'er come in your bed until I see the ring.
Nor I in yours till I see mine.
Sweet Portia, if you did know to whom I gave the ring, if you did know for whom I gave the ring, and would conceive for what I gave the ring, and how unwillingly I left the ring, when naught would be accepted but the ring, you would abate the strength of your displeasure.
If you had known the virtue of the ring, or half her worthiness that gave the ring, or your own honor to contain the ring, you would not then have parted with the ring. What man is there so much unreasonable? If you had pleased to have defended it with any terms of zeal, wanted the modesty to urge the thing held as a ceremony, Nerissa teaches me what to believe. I'll die for it, but some woman had the ring.
No, by my honor, madam, by my soul, no woman had it, but a civil doctor.
Let not that doctor e'er come near my house, since he hath got the jewel that I loved, and that which you did swear to keep for me. I will become as liberal as you. I'll not deny him anything I have. No, not my body, nor my husband's bed. Know him I shall, I am well sure of it. Lie not a night away from home, watch me like Argos if you do not, if I be left alone. Now by mine honor, which is yet mine own, I'll have that doctor for my bedfellow.
And I his clerk, therefore be well advised how you do leave me to mine own protection.
Well, do you so? Let me not take him then, for if I do, I'll mar the young clerk's pen.
I am the unhappy subject of these quarrels.
Oh, no, sir, grieve not you. You are welcome notwithstanding.
Sweet Portia, pardon me, and upon my soul I swear I never more will break an oath with thee.
I once did lend my body for his wealth, which, but for him that had your husband's ring, had quite miscarried. I dare be bound again, my soul upon the forfeit, that your lord will never more break faith advisedly.
Then you shall be his surety. Give him this, and bid him keep it better than the other.
Here, Lord Bassanio, swear to keep this ring.
By heaven, it is the same I gave the doctor.
I had it of him. Pardon me, Bassanio, for by this ring the doctor lay with me.
And pardon me, my gentle Gratiano, for that same scrubbed boy, the doctor's clerk, in lieu of this last night, did lie with me.
Why, this is like the mending of highways in summer, where the ways are fair enough. What? Are we cuckolds ere we have deserved it?
No, speak not so grossly. You are all amazed. No, here is the letter. Read it at your leisure. It comes from Padua, from Bellario. There you shall find that Portia was the doctor. Nerissa there, her clerk. Lorenzo here shall witness I set forth as soon as you, and even but now returned. I have not yet entered my house. Antonio, you are welcome. Oh, and I have better news in store for you than you expect. Unseal this letter soon, and there you shall find 3 of your argosies are richly come to harbour suddenly. You shall not know by what strange accident I chanced on this letter.
I am dumb.
Were you the doctor and I knew you not?
Were you the clerk that is to make me cuckold?
Aye, but the clerk that never means to do it unless he live to be a man.
Sweet Doctor, you shall be my bedfellow. When I am absent, then lie with my wife.
Sweet lady, you have given me life and living, for here I read for certain that my ships are safely come to road.
How now, Lorenzo? My clerk had some good comforts too for you.
Aye, and I'll give them him without a fee. There do I give to you and Jessica, from the rich Jew, a special deed of gift, after his death, of all he dies possessed of.
Fair ladies, you drop manna in the way of starved people.
Oh, it's almost morning, and yet I am sure you are not satisfied of these events at full. Let us go in and charge us there upon interrogatories, and we will answer all things faithfully.
Let it be so. The first interrogatory that my Neriss shall be sworn on is whether till the next night she'd rather stay or go to bed now, being 2 hours today. But were the day come, I should wish it dark that I were couching with the doctor's clerk. Well, while I live, I'll fear no other thing so sore as keeping safe Neriss's ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. My name is Roger Lipson. I am the director for Merchant of Venice. Please allow me to introduce the wonderful cast. Cast, if you will say hello so that you are highlighted once I've called your name. And please we'll welcome Aaron Alexander as Lorenzo.
Hello there.
Zoe Anastassiou as Portia.
Hi.
Philip Cruz as Antonio.
Hello.
James Foster Jr. as the Duke of Venice and Lancelot.
Hello.
Glenn Gilbert as the Duke of Aragon and Balthazar.
Hello.
Mary Francina Golden as Tubal.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Nicole Henneveld as Jessica.
Hello.
Stephen Martin as the Duke of Morocco.
Hello.
Sean Park as Gratiano.
Hello.
Derek Powell as Bassanio.
Hello there.
Jillian Robinson as Nerissa. Jill, we didn't hear you say hello. Oh,
Hello. Hello.
no, there she is. And Corey Tasmania as Solario.
Hi.
Jia Ying as Solanio and Stefano.
Fun.
And Renee Williams as Shylock.
Hey, what's happening?
Thanks to the wonderful cast and thanks to SweetTea Shakespeare for making this all very possible.